Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our entitled people. In today's episode, lady claims I stole her car and the police were called. Aunt goes apeshit over me refusing to write a book for free. Rant, cousin expects too much. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Lady claims I stole her car and the police were called. I've seen posts about this kind of thing and thought, no way, this is real. What kind of idiot would call the police for that? Well, yesterday it happened and I'm still confused what this lady was thinking. We have been looking for a car for our youngest. Looking through online ads, we came across an ad for a luxury car that only wanted about 1/3 of what this car Blue books for. Says car just suddenly stopped starting. My husband is a mechanic, so we decided to look at it, just to see. Immediately he sees a couple potential problems as to why it doesn't start. Car has new tires, body nearly perfect, interior needs a few easy fixes. Still well worth way more than owner is asking, even with paying for repairs to get it running. Of course we bought it. Youngest is ecstatic about getting a luxury car for graduation. Husband gets car running, even easier fix than he originally thought. And now it is time for crazy lady. It is time for plates and registration. Off to the DMV we go. Come out with the temporary tags and his husband is putting them on the car. This lady walks up. CL, excuse me? Me, distracted by phone, CL, excuse me? Me, I'm sorry, do you need something? CL, yes. That car. Me, my car? What about it? CL, where did you get it? Me, we bought it a few weeks ago. CL, that's my car. Husband, no, it isn't. Now get away from us. CL, yes, that is the car I was going to buy from previous owner, and you stole it from me. Me, lady, I paid previous owner what they were asking and nothing was said about you. Leave us alone. CL, previous owner, and I had an agreement about the car and you came in and made her sell it to you. I want it back and I want it now. I had to buy that piece of shit over there instead. Now, you take the piece of shit and give me my car. Me, whatever. Now get the hell out of my way before I run you over. CL, I'm not going anywhere. I've already reported to the police that I have found my stolen car and they are on the way. Husband, are you nuts, lady? You can't just report a car stolen because you missed the chance to buy it. What this insane B*TCH doesn't know is we are actually waiting on the previous owner to show up to get her plate and registration because there was a mix-up with the title, DMV fault, and we had to wait to get that fixed before we could title, register, and plate it, so we were still using the correct plates. Previous owner can then turn in her plate and get a refund for the months not used. 2 police cruisers pulled up about 5 minutes later. Previous owner pulled in right behind them. As the 2 officers are getting out and asking who called, previous owner walked up to me and my husband, asking what is going on. She hadn't noticed the crazy lady yet. CL immediately started yelling how she had paid for this car and we forced the previous owner to give us the title instead. She wanted us arrested and her given the title and possession of the car right now. One of the officers walked over to us. I grinned because it is one of my friend's sons. Grew up with and was friends with my oldest son. Officer, hey, Brandy. Want to tell me what is going on? Me, I don't really know. We bought this car a few weeks ago from her, pointing to previous owner, and while we were waiting for her to show up to get her plate, this woman started screaming at us about stealing the car. Something about they, pointing between previous owner and crazy lady, had an agreement about the car but she, previous owner, sold it to us instead and now she, crazy lady, is demanding we take whatever car she ended up buying and we give her this one. Previous owner, OMG. This is exactly why I didn't sell her the car in the first place. She is my neighbor and she is insane. She asked me about it when I decided to sell it and I told her she could buy it, but she wanted me to get it running again but still sell it to her for the low price. I told her I didn't want to deal with it and that is why it was low. If I got it running again, I might just keep it, but I would definitely raise the selling price to at least double. She has called me a few times asking if I had it running yet and I have told her no, but she kept telling me to call her when I did. Officer then, going with procedures, checked all of our IDs, checked the bill of sale, previous registration, and ran the VIN. Everything checked out. Officer, I think we're done here. Addressing crazy lady, ma'am, it is a crime what you have attempted here. Actually, you made a false report which is a crime and I could arrest you, but I'm not. I'm sure you're just upset and made a bad judgment call so we will let it slide. CL, no. It wasn't a false report. That is my car. Officer, ma'am, stop. Just stop. I could also charge you with attempted car theft, but we're all just going to walk away now. CL, no. I'm not just walking away. This is bullshit. Pointing at previous owner, you owe me, amount twice what we paid for the car, and I will get my car back. Officer number 2, ma'am, step over by the cruiser. We need to have a talk. I gave the plate to the previous owner and officer number 1 told us to have a nice day. Husband and I went ahead and left while previous owner went into the DMV. CL was still ranting at officer number 2 about allowing us to steal the car. Previous owner texted me later that CL was in the back of the police car when she left, still yelling. I'm not worried about any future contact with CL. We don't live in the town where the DMV is or where they live. In a couple of months, the car will be 2 hours away with my youngest at college. CL doesn't know our names and previous owner doesn't know where we live. The audacity of that lady. And the stupidity to insist on getting arrested after she was given a pass by a patient officer. Forrest Gump said it best. I kind of feel bad for the seller. She's going to have to deal with that crazy-ass neighbor. Aunt goes apeshit over me refusing to write a book for free. I, 25F, made a post to AATA and relationship advice around Christmas 2023. They're still available on my profile if you want the full timeline. I hope this is the final update, or if there is another update that it's a happy one. This is the SparkNotes version after what happened last night. January 2023, my mom passed away and 2 of my aunts took me in over time. I have 3 aunts. This is about Aunt 2, 50 plus F. My aunt had gone bat's hit out of nowhere, or it seemed that way to me. I was planning to spend Christmas alone to mourn my mother as it would be my first one without her. My aunt invited me to Christmas with them and, being kind of excited to see her grandkids that I took care of for the 6 months I stayed with them, I agreed to go. Didn't even get to go that far. Christmas Eve, Aunt 2 messaged me about what seemed like her asking me to script, film, and edit a video series based around her family being the real family of Santa Claus with her husband playing the part of Santa's son. No offers to pay me for it or anything, just went straight into it. I told her it was something Hallmark had done several times over and that it wouldn't be a good idea, let alone not even something any of us had the time or budget for. I told her that saying our family was the real family of Santa and trying to paint us that way would only lead to us getting jeered at, and I had no one in doing it. She went bat's hit, accusing me of saying her family isn't a real family and saying that she needs to focus on her family and that she should have let me rot with my mother. It confused me as to why she suddenly started saying all of this and hurt me extremely. I was alone in my house and crying the whole night trying to figure out what happened, as that was decidedly not what I said. Aunt 2 started saying BS about me and to me to the point I just had enough. We had another argument when I told her I was going to stop any contact with her for a while as she made no moves to reach out and apologize. She said she did apologize, she didn't. She made a blanket statement to a family group chat that I'm not even active in, saying, "I'm sorry to everyone about how I've been acting, I'll do better." That's not an apology. That's the coward's way out. I made a post to Facebook laying out what happened, how it made me feel, and that I was cutting her out of contact with me. Had to make the post to the rest of the family because they kept pushing me to try and talk with her without them knowing the full story. I didn't want to sit there and message each one of them individually. Here's where the entitlement comes out in full. This entire time I thought she was being like this due to a misunderstanding. It turns out it wasn't. She did it on purpose. She commented on the post, where everyone could see, saying, "Really? You started it because you didn't want to help me write my book because you didn't want our family stuff out there." She didn't even refute anything I said. Didn't try to make excuses. It wasn't because of a misunderstanding. She said all that shit on purpose because I wouldn't write a book for her. I didn't even think she wanted a book. She made it seem like she wanted a video series. So, yeah. That's what I'm dealing with now. Sorry about the length. You need to go no contact with this aunt, she's unhinged and selfish. Already have. Had to make the post to the rest of the family because they kept pushing me to try and talk with her without them knowing the full story. I didn't want to sit there and post to each one of them individually. Since I posted it and she commented on it, they've all stopped. Are you a published writer or something? I don't get her logic. No, I went to college for script writing and video editing. I freelance with it. I've talked about wanting to publish my own books in the future, though. If I ever get around to writing them. Does she actually believe your family is related to St. Nicholas? Either way, she sounds delusional as all hell. Down the road it sounds the aunt is an inspiration on how bad communication can wreck relationships. Sort of a people in a pond, but the ripples tear groups apart instead of being soothing and harmonious. I'm sorry your aunt isn't mature enough to deal with her desires and expectations in a mature manner. She seems like she is determined to be lonely. I would also like to convey my heartfelt sympathy for the loss of your mom. As a daughter whose mom passed a few years ago, it's hard. Moms are special and going through this change is hard. I don't know if we'll help, but you are a piece of your mom. She put her best love, lessons, experiences, and bits into you. Wrap your arms around yourself and know she is inside safe and sound. I say this as a 56F mom. You are a treasure. I certainly hope that your 2024 will develop into the best year yet. Rant, cousin expects too much. My cousin, 30F, recently broke up with me, 29F, because I chose to hang out with my friends and not her. The breakup was a long time coming, as I usually keep her at an arm's length. I find her exhausting and a demanding person. For example, she got upset last year because I wasn't there for her daughter's first Christmas. Unfortunately, I worked Christmas and Thanksgiving that year. I got one day off and devoted it to my husband's and my parents. I am in healthcare, so my hours are crazy. I was, reluctantly, her maid of honor 2 years ago, and I still kept in touch with her on the phone and social media. We saw each other once every month or so. We would talk for 2 hours at a time. The problem is, I live over an hour away and work evenings and rotate weekends, so my schedule is very limiting. I am also in graduate school. The time I do have I devote to my husband, our parents, our friends, and my own friends, and obviously time for myself to study and whatnot. Well, finally on a weekend off I chose to hang out with my friends at brunch and she just about lost it. Guilt tripped me for not considering her and even brought up the holidays as an example how I didn't see her daughter and how I'm not a part of her daughter's life at all. I could no longer enable her, so I straight up told her that I chose to spend my time with my friends instead of her, that it doesn't mean I don't care for her, it was simply how I wanted to spend my time. Mind you, we had plans for a Halloween sleepover 2 weeks later, which obviously didn't happen because she broke up me. I am trying to cope with the feelings of, am I possibly the problem? Am I the asshole that doesn't care about my cousin? All while feeling relieved I am not connected with her anymore because now I don't have to worry about upsetting her because I'm not doing enough. I wish she was more understanding of my schedule and that I don't need to see her to know we care about each other. We aren't in college and little kids anymore. Going out with friends without drama? How dare you? Why would you not want to spend time with your cousin, walking on eggshells and doing all the emotional regulation work? It makes no sense. Your cousin needs to grow up and behave like an adult. She definitely has done issues. I go no contact after her last outburst as you don't need her drama in your life. People like your cousin are exhausting. She is far too attached to you. You live an hour away, work healthcare shifts, have your own family and nearly friends. My initial thought was this woman has no friends of her own. Except she is married and has a daughter. Even if she is lonely, she can make friends and meet other people on her own. I always found people with babies and small children were happy to chat and get together with others in their situation. NTA. Your cousin has issues. She has to learn to handle herself and not demand attention from you. In other words, she needs to grow up. I had a cousin that I was close with just like yours. She got mad at me because I didn't go to her baby shower. I had to work. But because of my age at the time, she didn't think my job was that important. I looked up to her, so I just took her to Red Lobster and she was fine. However, throughout the years I noticed she got very selfish. She only called me when she wanted a good time. She didn't respect me and still looked at me as an irresponsible child when I never got in any trouble growing up. SHE was the problem child. LOL, I just cut the cord when I truly realized my happiness was more important than hers. It just sucks that I found this out in my early 30s. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.